the wife's home, so I could sit down and make a video talking about all the stuff that happened today, from LeVeon Bell, Melvin Ingram, Jakeem Grant, and of course, yes, I will talk about can and should the Dolphins trade for Julio Jones. What is up, Fin fans? Got a lot to talk about today, so before we jump into all that good razzmatazz, got to thank a new Patreon, Damien. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon, bud. But let's jump into this. Got a lot to talk about. First things first, there's the LeVeon Bell thing, right? So the NFL I'll pop it up, either side of me. You guys already know, I'll pop it up for you. There was NFL.com, or NFL in general, on Instagram, put a picture of the Miami Dolphins offseason additions. Jalen Waddle, Will Fuller, Jalen Phillips, Jason McCourty, Javon Holland. And it says, who was the Dolphins' biggest offseason splash? And then he comments, yes, indeed, with a monocle happy face or emoji or whatever you're calling it. So now everyone's like, LeVeon Bell to Miami, LeVeon Bell to Miami, and Dolphins need a running back. You know, I talked about it in the last video. I'm all right with Myles Gaskin. But LeVeon Bell to Miami, I will say this. Is it out of the realm of possibility for LeVeon Bell to come to Miami? No. Do I see it happening? Not really. If I gave it a percentage, right? A percentage that he does come in versus not, I'd say it's about 30% he does come and about 70% he doesn't. The Dolphins did make a push for him last season. We were in a playoff hunt. We needed help at the running back position with Gaskin getting injured and bringing in Ahmed and all these running backs, you know, didn't pan out. Burrito wasn't doing what he needed to. We got rid of Jordan Howard. So they were in a situation that he needed to bring in a running back, and they went hard for LeVeon Bell once he was released by the Jets. He decided to go with the Chiefs, try to win a Super Bowl. That didn't pan out for him, so now he is a free agent. So again, to say no, he's not coming, I don't think that's necessarily, you know, yeah, he could. Dolphins could be like, hey, we'll pay you this much by this much. Come play for us for a year, and we'll see how we feel afterwards. That's possible as can be. But likely, I don't know. You never know. You never know with this team. You never know with this team. So there's that. Then the Miami Dolphins decided to bring in Melvin Ingram. Now, if you remember, the Dolphins brought in Malik Hooker on a visit, ended up not signing him, but signing Jason McCourty, who I think Jason McCourty is probably going to transition to safety. You know how Brian Flores likes to take those Patriot corners and move them to safety. So they brought in Malik Hooker, who, again, if you go back and watch my offseason additions video, it was a name I dropped, just like Jacoby Brissett. And who's another name that I dropped, boys and girls? Melvin Ingram. And the Dolphins are bringing in Melvin Ingram. I'm wondering if the Dolphins watch my channel. If you are, how you doing? I love you, team. I have it all over the place. Call me. But they're bringing in Melvin Ingram. Now, yes, Melvin Ingram is up there in age, but he's a perfect fit for this 3-4 defense that the Dolphins are running. So bringing him in, I would absolutely love it to sign him, right? You have that crazy good rotation at the pass rush area of the team, which I'm not even at yet in my roster breakdown of camp battles. So if they bring in Melvin Ingram, it probably is going to be a 1-year prove-it deal. Again, he's up there in age, and he does have injury problems. But having him, Agba, Phillips, Ginkle, Beagle, Zeiler, having all Sealer. I feel like I constantly say his name wrong. You guys bring it up a lot. Having all these guys, I know Zeiler is a defensive tackle, but these guys getting after the quarterback, a great rotation. Because you notice at the end of the year, that rotation started getting tired. So bringing in Melvin Ingram on a cheap, vet contract for 1 year, I would absolutely love. Love, 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 love. Then, before we get into Julio, because I know you guys want to talk about Julio, there is something else I want to talk about. So, David Crossman, who is the wide receiver coach for the Dolphins, came out and, there's a big press conference today with the OCs and all those guys. If you want to go check it out, it's on their YouTube channel. You guys can go check it out. But Crossman came out and said that Jalen Waddle will indeed have a chance to compete to return punts and kicks. My heart sunk into my chest a little bit when I heard that. Yes, Tyreek Hill returned punts. A lot of, these top name wide receivers did at, their rookie year and start off their career returning punts. Yes. Got the fear in my chest with, Preston Williams' injury in 2019, and then with McMillan's injury in the preseason game. It's just like, special teams hurts. It's just terrifying. And I made the joke, but I wouldn't be wrong. Dolphins are down by 2, 3 and out. There's a minute something left. The team is kicking from their own 30. Put Waddle back there to take the punt, because he'll probably take it in field goal range. We kneel a few times, kick the field goal, win, get the heck out of there. So he says that. David Crossman says that, and then Jakeem Grant's agent comes out and says, with an all-pro punter already there, noted. He since has deleted this tweet. You're not helping your agent out, your client out, by saying that. What Crossman said is Jalen Waddle will indeed have a chance to compete. You don't want I thought your wide receiver, the client is a wide receiver and he wants to be a wide receiver more than a kick return punt returner. He doesn't like competition. He's deleted this tweet because he knows. He flubbed up. He flubbed up big time on that one. And then the final thing we are going to talk about is the fact that Julio Jones came out sharp, on his show with Skip Bayless, called Julio, and he says, I'm out of here. He's not going to be with the Falcons anymore. He wants to be traded. The Falcons say they want a first-round pick for him. You ain't getting a first round. Julio Jones is fantastic. Julio Jones is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's a 10-year vet. You ain't getting a first-round pick for a 10-year vet. So names are being thrown out there. For the first time, which I find quite funny, for the first time, the Dolphins aren't a name for a potential landing spot. You got the Packers, you got the Ravens, you got the Patriots. I'm hearing that they want to trade them out of the NFC, him out of the NFC. Chargers. These are the names I'm hearing. You're not hearing the Dolphins. But you guys, and again, this is going to be comment of the day. I don't know why I say again. I didn't say it the first time. This is going to be comment of the day. But you guys want to know, can we get Julio? Well, Spot Track, if you don't know about Spot Track, fantastic site, and they do a lot of numbers when it comes to all sports and all contracts. They say trading Julio Jones after June 1st, which most likely is going to be after June 1st. I don't know if he'll get traded before Monday. 2021 dead cap for the Falcons, $7.75 million with a $15.3 million savings. And 2022, 15.5 dead cap with a $3.7 million savings. The new team acquires a $15.3 million guaranteed, but next year only 2, so they can cut him after 1 year. So essentially you're getting him for 1 year around 17.3 because you got the other $2 million guaranteed the next year. But if the Dolphins were to make a trade for him, and again, I'll talk about what I would trade in a second, like literally in a second, but you are going to give up, you're going to have to take on this year, $15.3 million contract. The Dolphins do not, as of right now, are sitting at, I think, around $8 to $10 million in cap space. And they still have to sign Holland, Long, Eckenberg, and Phillips. And they are around $10 million. So can the Miami Dolphins feasibly trade for Julio Jones? And, I've heard a lot of people talk about, what the Dolphins could do is trade them Devontae Parker. Okay. Devontae Parker, I think, is about a $12 million cap hit this year. Okay. So we'll trade them Devontae Parker. And then I'm also hearing you cut Albert Wilson, you cut Jakeem Grant for cap space. And then you bring in Julio Jones. Well, on Spot Track, you can manage your roster. And I managed the roster. I traded Devontae Parker to the Atlanta Falcons, and I cut Julio Jones, I cut Jakeem Grant and Albert Wilson, and I will pop up what our cap space would be at. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Negative $17.7 million. I don't know if the Dolphins can afford to trade for his contract unless the Falcons somehow decided to take on some of his bonus money, like the Dolphins did with the Titans and with Aqib Talib and stuff. We'll give you a higher draft pick if you take on some of the money. But again, we still have 4 draft picks we need to sign, one of them still being a first-round draft pick. So that being said, is it feasible for the Dolphins to trade for Julio Jones? This is me just putting numbers and clicking on buttons. So the Dolphins can pretty much do whatever they need to put themselves in a situation to make it work. They can even restructure Julio Jones' contract when he comes to the team to say, hey, we want you around not just for 1 year, being that it's just this year is fully guaranteed. So let's back end your contract. We can have more money next year. We'll want you for 3 years versus just this one. Do all these things. So it is possible. Will they do it? I don't see it happening. Do I want them to do it? If they trade Devontae Parker for Julio Jones, and then looking at the Falcons, though, they need more defense than they do offense. So you might have to throw in somebody else besides Devontae Parker. Better not be Xavier Howard, but you see what I'm saying? They need more defense than they do offense. So, but do I want Julio Jones on this team? Yeah. He has been banged up. He hasn't played a full season in about 2 years. Last year, he only played 9 games, and he had 771 receiving yards. In 2019, he only played 15 games. He had 1,300. But the man in his 10-year career did not pass 1,000 yards only 3 times. So for 7 of his 10 years, he had over 1,000 receiving yards. Yeah, I'd like Julio on the team. But I don't know if the Dolphins can afford it. Be sure to comment below. Comment below, what do you guys think of everything I just talked about? You know, like I said, the wife came home. She was able to hang out with the baby. We put the baby to sleep. Now I'm able to make you a quick video. LeVeon Bell. I've already talked about this. I know a lot of you guys have talked about, no, I don't want him. Some of you saying yes. What are your thoughts on that? Melvin Ingram. Would you like to bring him in on like a vet minimum, 1-year tryout deal? What's your thoughts on Jakeem Grant's agent? And do you want the Dolphins to trade for Julio Jones? Do you think the Dolphins should/can trade for Julio Jones? But other than that, guys, if more news breaks, like tomorrow, if more news breaks or if something happens, if a trade happens, I'll try to make a video maybe when she's napping, the baby. But you'll most likely get the video after my wife gets home from work. Also, I got that video planned for Wednesday, a nice little reaction video. But other than that, guys, I'll see you Wednesday, if not tomorrow, with more breaking news. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.